right, today's objectives is solving systems of linear equations using tables and graphs. So don't forget, write down the things that's in red. When two or more equations share the same variables, we call it a system of equations. When we solve a system of equations, we are looking for the point or points the equation have in common. Those common points, parenthesis, x comma y, that's called the order pair, are the solution or solutions to the system. Okay, so in this case, if you look at the graph, if I give you a graph, you should be able to identify this where the intercept is the solution. Okay, so going on, let's talk about different parts of it so we can understand what does that mean. So for example number 1, giving the system 2x plus 2y equals 300 and x equals 4y, determine which of the following are solutions to this system. Now understand, if you look at the first graph, they have to have both of them using the same points. So that means this order pair they give you has to be working for both equations. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to plug in the numbers for both equations and see do they all work out. So plug in the 100 for x order pairs. So first number is x, second number is y. So x in this case is 100 and y is 50. So I'm going to plug it in. 2 times 100 plus 2 times 50 equals 300. All right, so that's 200. That is 200 plus 100 is equal to 300. Yes. So first equation works. Now let's try second one. The x is 100. The second equation is 4 times y, 50. So that's 100 equals 200. So now the second equation is no. If it's a solution of the equation, it has to be yes on both equations. So in this case, this is not a solution. Let's write it out properly. So 100 comma 50, order pair 100 comma 50 is not a solution. So I would like you guys to try B and C, check back with the answers, and I will show you the answer what I have. So here's the answer for letter B and C. Now notice letter B, after you plug in the first equation, you already got a no. You can stop right there because if it's already not a solution, there's no reason to check for the next equation. So that's why I only check one. But for C, the first one is yes. So I have to check a second equation. And the second one is also yes. Therefore, it's yes for both equations. So 120 and 30 is a solution to the system above. So the next thing, 3 types of solution to linear system of equations. When you are giving a solution to the system of equations, you need to solve for it. When you solve a system of equation, there are 3 types of possible answers. 1, one solution, a point of intersection, an order pair. 2, no solution, lines do not intersect, they are parallel lines. 3, infinitely many solutions. Their solution should look like lines are the same. All right. So to think about the graphs, two lines in the corner plane, there are three cases that can happen. One, the line intersect. Two, the lines are parallel. Three, the lines are coincided. So this is one, this is two type, this is the third type. Okay, coincide means they are the same line. They are same exact line, or they are right on top of each other. So let's take a look at them. Line 1 and 2. Well, line 1 and 2, you have what is true about the slope. You notice they are different direction. So you can say the slopes are not the same. The second one, what is true about the slopes? The slopes, if you look at it, they are going the same direction. That means they are probably going to the same thing, up the same direction, rise over run. So the slopes are the same. And the next one, what is true about the slope? For the next one, they are the coincide, so the slope has to be the same. So the next thing that we want to discuss besides the slope, we want to talk about what would be the solution to the system. If you look at it, that will be one solution. And that is the one that's order pair x comma y. Next one, what will be the solution to the system? And that is the second one right here that they were talking about. That is no solution. Lines do not intersect parallel lines, and we have a parallel lines. So right here, we're going to put down no solution. And sometimes you will actually see a circle with a slash through it, depends on the situation. The next one is going to be what will be the solution to the system. Oh wait, before I do that, this is also parallel lines. Okay. Next one, you have what will be the solution to the system. Now look at it, since they are coincide, they are points shared by the same line. They have infinite many solutions. Now there's also another way to write it properly, because when you say infinite many solution, what does that really mean? And I will show you guys in a minute. Okay, so that will be the solution. Now, one more thing I would like to talk about, just in case you are not clear. Now, is the y-intercept the same? Well, for this one, it could be sometime or maybe. So we are going to eliminate because we are not 100% sure. But if you look at the two slopes are the same situation here. Slope are the same. Slope are the same. Notice to what happened to their y-intercept. Their y-intercept for this one is not the same. For this one, both of them are the same. So if you want to distinguish between the two, you can also say for the ones the slope is the same. Therefore, their y-intercept for the parallel lines, y-intercept not the same. For the code inside, y-intercept is the same. And that is how you can tell the difference a little bit more. In this unit, we will discuss 4 ways of solving system of 2 linear equations in 2 variables. We're going to talk about table method. This method involves making input-output tables. So we're going to give you tables like this, and you are going to figure it out. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. You can fill it in by hand, or you can do it on the calculator. Next one I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the graphing methods, and this is pretty much either involving putting your equation in y equals mx plus b. You can do it by plotting based on the slope, or you can do it by calculator. So I'll show you that too. Number 3 is solution. So solution method, substitution method. Number 3 is substitution method. And this involves substituting the value of one variable from one equation into the value of that same variable in the other equation to get one equation in one variable. All right, so really come down to it, just one equation in one equation in one equation, get x or y by itself. Okay, one equation, get x or y by itself. All right, and then I will tell you how. And then that's probably going to be either y equals mx plus b, or x equals y plus something, or just one side have to be x or one side have to be y. All right, doesn't matter which one. Number 4 is the elimination method. This is by most. This involves adding equal quantity of each of the 2 equations together to eliminate one of the variable and end up with one equation in one variable. So that will come a little bit later, and I will explain that later on. So going on, the first thing, what we're going to do is solving linear system by using a table. Solving the system of an equation by using a table, right? Now, first thing you do is write each equation in slope-intercept form. 2. Use a table to find the solution that satisfies both equations. So example number 2, we're going to practice that, and I'm also going to try to review how to get that table again, because I know I done it last time, but I want to make sure that we are getting good at the calculator. So first one, I'm going to put the y equals 4x minus 3 in, just do it by hand, just in case. So when you do it by hand, what you have is going to be 4 times 0 minus 3, and that's going to be 0 minus 3, that's negative 3. Then the next one, you are going to have 4 times 1 minus 3, and that's going to be just 1. And the next one is going to be 4 times 2 minus 3. That's going to be 8 minus 3, that's 5. I'm plugging the 2 in position where the x, because those are the x value. 0 is the x value, 1 is the x value, 2 is the x value, using the equation above. Okay, 3. So 3 is going to be 4 times 3 minus 3. That's going to be 12 minus 3, that's 9. Then I have 4 times 4 minus 3, and that's 16 minus 3. That's going to be 13. Now, if you want to, you can write those in the order pairs so you can recognize a little bit easier. So to write it in order pair, this is going to be 0. That's going to be 0, negative 3, and this is going to be 1, comma 1, and that's 2, comma 5, And then going on, that's 3 comma 9, and then 4 comma 13. Okay, so now I would like you to show you guys how to do that on the calculator. So, okay, so I turn on the calculator and I'm going to go in it and then record it. That's y equal. And the equation is 4x minus 3. Table. So second table, we have something. Now, since I didn't get to see everything, I'm going to start with table set, second table set. And notice, table set starts at 4, and that's what I have in my table. But since the table that I want starts with 0, I'm going to change that to 0. And the change, see the little triangle, that's delta, that means change. So when you put in the delta going up by 1, that means it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can change this into 0.5. Then the table will go up 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2. So it depends on what you want the gap in between going to be. That's your changing table. Then the next one is independent. You can automatic generate, which is that's what we do. But if you decide you want to ask like 100, you can scroll over on the auto and say, I'm going to ask what happened on some big huge number, and they will automatic work out the problems and give you an answer. So you can ask your x value, you can ask your y value, and they will generate the other side for you, which is kind of cool. All right, so that's what the table setup going to be right there, table set. All right, so now we change that into 0. Let's see what we can get. Table again, second table. Look, it starts at 0. 0, negative 3, 1, 1, 2, 5, 3, 9, 4, 13. That's exactly what we have. So now I want you guys to try to see, either do it by hand or do it by a calculator to fill out the next table. So because I did it with a calculator, you notice I didn't have any work. I jot down the numbers. Now, those are the ones that's in green is my order pairs. So if you look very closely, you should be able to see that this one right here is my order pair. They both have 3, 9. So therefore, my answer for that question between those two equations, the intersecting point is going to be 3, 9. And that is your solution. Okay? So now, please try letter B. Now, I know letter B doesn't look the same. So first of all, for the first box, the hint is to move the negative 2x so y is by itself. And the second equation is distribute the 5 and simplify, and then work through 1, either use do it by hand, 2, or do it by calculator. So going through letter B, what you have is I started with 0 and going towards the negative side. Now, why did I decide to do that? Well, the reason I decided to do that is because that when I plug in the numbers, and then if I have my table set on the positive side, the number just gets way too big from one equation to the next. So I decide to go the other way. And if I go the other way, I actually find my answer, and my answer is at negative 3, 7, and negative 3 and 7. So sometimes you have to double check on one side equation and next side of equation to get your answer. That's the drawback of a table, just because sometimes you are not sure which side to go. Now there's another way to do this problem. You can use a TI graphing calculator to solve the equation. And this does not even involve the table. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it by graph, you can do it by table, you can even do it by a calculator. Now, you would probably ask me when you do a test, which method does it require? Well, depends on the questions. If they didn't ask you to do it by table and they just give you the answers, you can do it either way you think is best for you, and that is the fastest, and you will get the right answer. So really depends. But if I give you a table, you better know how to fill out the table. If I give you a graph, you better make sure that you know how to graph and be able to identify the correct answers. So example 3 says, use technology to solve the following system. I am going to put this in the calculator and show you another way other than the table way. And so everything had to be in slope-intercept form because that's how we enter in the calculator. And if you look at the top equation, it's 3x plus 2y equals equals 15. Therefore, you have to make sure that's in slope-intercept form. So that's the first thing we're going to do is 1, change everything, every equation into slope intercept form. Okay, and that's going to be 3x plus 2y equals 15. And then the first thing you know, get y by itself. That's going to be minus 3x on both sides. That's going to be 2y equals negative 3x plus 15. And then don't forget divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. And you kind of go, oh, Miss Wiesman, this is a fraction. Yes. And then that's why it's so nice to have a calculator to do that for you. So let me show you how that is done. 15 over 2. So that is the first equation we have. And the second equation is a fraction. So let me show you how to enter both of them in your calculator. How to enter the equation. And it should be in the y equal form. And make sure there's no equations in there, everything cleared out. And then we are going to enter the equation. Now the two equations, y equals negative 3 over 2. So the problem is we want to make sure the fraction is entered correctly with the negative sign. So because of that, I'm going to just put in a parenthesis just to be sure. So that's negative 3 divided by 2 parenthesis x, and then plus parenthesis 15 divided by 2. All right, close parenthesis. So every fraction, I close it off with the parentheses. Second equation is a half. To start off, parenthesis 1 divided by 2, parenthesis, because that's a fraction, I want to close it off, plus 2x. And then now I'm going to just graph it, okay? Now, if some of you guys did not get a nice little graph like this, try Zoom Standard, number 6. Zoom Standard brings you the origin into your middle of the screen, and that makes your screen is 10 by 10. What you're going to do is you can Zoom Standard, number 6, and press enter, and you should get 2 lines. Now, some of you guys will recognize, oh, I can just trace to get there. But there is even a more precise way. And the more precise way is we're going to do a calculation, and we're going to find their intercept. So second, calculate, intercept. So I'm going to go down to 5. Press enter. Now they're going to ask your first curve, and use that all the time. So just the first line, and then identify it for you. Just press enter. And the second equation, actually they call it second curve, press enter again. You identify that. and they want to say, how about, do you want me to guess it? Say yes, I want you to guess it. Okay, if you guess, look, the intersection is right down here. The intersection x is 2, y is 4.5 will be your solution. So that is the third way you can do this. So the answer for example number 3 using graphing calculator, we got the answer as 2 comma 4.5. So I'm going to write that down. To write it in a parenthesis, yes, because that's the order pair of intersection. For number 4, you need to change your top equation into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to have 2y equals 3x plus 8, and we're going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, and that's going to be y equals 3 over 2x plus 4. Now I want you guys to recognize this, that slope for that one is 3 over 2x, and slope for the second equation is 3 over 2x, but our y-intercept is not the same. So if you can remember from previous notes we discussed, that is going to be a parallel lines because slope is the same, the y-intercept is different. But if you don't remember, it's totally okay because we can graph it and then you can notice the difference. Okay, so 3 over 2 and negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's your first, and then 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. And then, so there's your first line. Then the next line is at 4, positive 4. The positive 4 is going to be up here. 4 is right here. And then it's up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, down 3 over 2, down 3 over 2. And then you should be able to see a parallel lines. And you should recognize the solution. There's parallel line, there's no solution. So go ahead, graph the next couple lines and then come back and check your answers. Example number 4, letter A is no solution because two lines are parallel. Letter B has one solution. They cross at 6, 7. Letter C, when you move everything around, you will find they are the same 2x minus 1 is the equation. So therefore, they are the same exact line. But I would like you guys to look the answer I put down. I put down infinite many solutions, but I also put down the equation. Now this is what I was talking about. When you say infinite many solutions, what does that mean? It should be the equation of line, because I can definitely have points here, points here, points here. That's still considered infinite many solution, but based on what? So now we're going to get more sophisticated. We're going to say infinite many solution based on line y equals 2x plus 1. So you need to make sure that you understand that infinite many solution based on line y equals 2x plus 1. And if you don't do that, some teacher will actually mark you wrong. And I will tell you this, in the higher level math, they do require to identify the line that has all the solution on it. And thank you so much for watching.